The sun was setting over the vast golden grasslands, casting long shadows on the landscape. The air was thick with the scent of earth and vegetation. A small tribe of Homo habilis, no more than a dozen individuals, gathered around a flickering fire, their faces illuminated by its warm glow. Their movements were purposeful, driven by an ancient unspoken instinct for survival. Suddenly, the ground trembled. The large armored creatures appeared at the edge of the plains, massive armadillos, their shells gleaming in the twilight. These weren't the small, timid creatures humans knew in later times. These were colossal beasts, each the size of a small house, their thick, impenetrable armor making them appear nearly indestructible. Their beady eyes glistened in the fading light as they moved steadily towards the tribe's camp. The leader of the group, a burly man with sharp, calculating eyes, motioned for silence. His hand, calloused and strong, rested on his stone-tipped spear. He studied the creatures with a mix of awe and fear. The tribe had learned long ago that while these armadillos were not predators, their sheer size and weight made them dangerous, especially when provoked. But there was no time for hesitation. The tribe had prepared for such an encounter. A young woman, agile and determined, darted towards a nearby cluster of trees. She moved swiftly, her legs carrying her with grace and precision. She grabbed a handful of dried leaves and crushed them into a fine powder, the pungent scent of the herbs filling the air. These were medicinal plants known to relieve pain and treat wounds. Her heart raced as she prepared a mixture, knowing that the tribe's survival would depend on their ability to confront the armadillos if they ventured too close. The first sign of danger came when one of the giant armadillos tripped over a fallen tree. It let out a deep, rumbling growl that shook the earth. The tribe stiffened, their instincts kicking in. The leader motioned for the group to assemble. They couldn't afford to wait any longer. The armadillo, now more alert, turned its massive head and locked eyes with the leader. Its armored body shifted with the force of its movement, creating an almost seismic tremor as it advanced. The tribe sprang into action. Men and women armed with spears and tools crafted from stone and bone moved toward the creature with practiced precision. They knew the risk the armadillo could crush them with a single blow. Yet they also knew that their very survival hinged on capturing or fending off this creature. It was the balance of life and death, and there was no room for fear. The tribe had faced much worse wild predators, harsh winters, and deadly storms. But they had always endured. The first spear was thrown, striking the beast's side, but it bounced off harmlessly against the thick armor. The creature roared in anger, and the ground seemed to quake beneath it as it charged forward its massive body like a living fortress. The tribe scattered, moving with a synchrony born of years of survival, their hearts pounding in their chests. The young woman, holding the herb mixture tightly in her hand, moved quickly to the leader's side, where the tension in the air was palpable. As the armadillo advanced, the group knew that only by working together would they stand a chance. The armadillo charged its massive form, barreling toward the tribe with terrifying speed. The earth beneath its heavy steps shook violently, and the tribe scrambled to react. The leader, his breath shallow, watched as his tribe spread out in a desperate attempt to flank the creature. They had only moments to act before the beast reached them. The young woman, clutching the herb mixture, darted between the trees, her mind racing with the weight of the moment. She had to get close enough to distract the beast to give the others time to strike. She had seen it before. The tribe had once faced down a much smaller predator, and they had survived because of one single strategy: unity and timing. As the armadillo lumbered closer, its massive shell gleaming in the moonlight, a sharp, quick signal from the leader echoed through the air. The tribe moved in unison, their spears poised. The leader's face was set with determination, his eyes locked onto the creature's underbelly, the only place vulnerable to their attack. Just as the armadillo reached the line of warriors, the young woman sprang from the shadows, her heart hammering in her chest. She hurled a bundle of rocks, distracting the creature long enough for the leader to dive beneath it. His spear struck the ground with a resounding thud, inches from the beast's soft underbelly. The armadillo roared, thrashing violently. Its massive tail whipped through the air, narrowly missing the young woman who fell backward into the brush. The beast's strength was undeniable, but it lacked the precision of the human hunters who worked in perfect sync. As the creature turned its attention to the leader, the rest of the tribe lunged forward. A spear pierced the creature's exposed leg, and the armadillo let out a scream that reverberated through the plains. It stumbled, its movements sluggish, as the warriors closed in from all sides. With a final desperate effort, the leader plunged his spear deep into the creature's side. The massive beast let out a final guttural groan before collapsing to the ground, its armored shell cracking under the weight of its own defeat. The tribe stood silent for a moment, the victory settling over them like the dust in the air. They had done it. They had faced down one of the most formidable creatures of their time and survived. But the battle wasn't over yet. In the distance, a new threat appeared on the horizon. Another tribe, their faces painted with war paint, their weapons sharp and ready. The tribe's leader wiped the sweat from his brow and turned to his people. This victory had come at a cost, but it had also earned them the respect of their ancestors. And now they would need every ounce of strength to hold their ground. With a deep breath, he signaled the tribe to prepare for what was to come. The battle for survival had only just begun. As the rival tribe drew closer, the air thickened with tension. The wind whipped across the plains, carrying the faint scent of smoke and anticipation. The tribe, still standing victorious over the massive armadillo, now faced a new test, a test of unity, resolve, and cunning. Their greatest strength had always been their ability to adapt and work together. But would that be enough in the face of a more formidable enemy? The leader motioned for his people to gather. The fire that had once flickered warmly now burned bright and fierce, reflecting the fire in their hearts. The younger warriors, their faces a mix of excitement and fear, tightened their grip on their spears, eyes scanning the horizon. They knew that this confrontation would be different. This was not a fight for survival against a beast of the land. This was a fight for survival against another tribe, another people with their own instincts, weapons, and ways of life. As the rival tribe approached, the leader's hand rested on the shoulder of the young woman who had played such a crucial role in the battle against the armadillo. Her face was calm, determined. She had seen death before, but she had also seen life. She had witnessed the raw power of the earth's creatures, and now she would witness the power of human conflict. The rival tribe was now close enough to see clearly, more than twice their number, with painted faces and weapons gleaming in the twilight. Their eyes were cold, calculating, and filled with the intent to dominate. But the leader of the tribe knew better than to underestimate the strength of his own people. They had fought together for years, lived and survived in the harshest of conditions. Now they would face their greatest test. Without a word, the leader signaled for the tribe to spread out. They would use the land to their advantage, just as they had with the armadillo. The tribe knew that survival depended on strategy and teamwork, not brute strength. Every move, every action would need to be calculated precise. As the rival tribe charged, the battle was on. Spears clashed, bodies collided, and the earth itself seemed to shake with the power of the conflict. But through the chaos, there was one constant unity. As the fight raged on, the tribe's bond held them together, their strength rooted in the land they called home. In the end, the rival tribe faltered. Exhausted, they retreated into the distance, leaving the victorious tribe standing tall, battered, but unbroken. The leader turned to his people, his heart swelling with pride. They had survived. And they would continue to survive together. The sun dipped below the horizon, the final rays casting a golden glow over the plains. The tribe gathered around the fire once more, their hearts filled with relief and hope. The future was uncertain, but as long as they remained united, they knew they would endure whatever challenges lay ahead.